Clients aren't resigning. Coaches are kind of exhausted. What's the solution? Welcome to Coach Grid. My name is Joe Spearden, here as always with Kirsten Davis. Today we're talking about burnout, and not just for the coach, but for the client as well. And in the coaching industry, we're finding more and more that feeling of burnout, that feeling of exhaustion is pretty universal. And some people are saying that means, the coaching industry is dying, the coaching industry is going away. But I think what we've experienced is that is definitely not the case. Mm-hmm. And it's a transitionary time. What do you think is leading to that burnout? Maybe start with coaches. What's leading to the burnout for coaches?
A lot of things. The lens that's most relevant to us in this channel is they're using really bad tech. It's not only not making their time more efficient in a lot of ways, it's costing them time when they have to reset it up, when they decide that they want to change the name of their program or their launch, or they change the graphic and they're like, oh, I have to go update this in 72 places now, everywhere across all these different platforms. Yeah, like tech debt.
I think that's important because when I would hear that before from other people that, tech and software was this really kind of awful part of the coaching industry. It's like, it can't be that bad. It's not that bad. It's not that big of a deal. You're going to spend the majority of your time with your clients. And theoretically, that's true. You should. But it was this thought of like, oh, I'll set it and I'll get it set up once and then I don't have to worry about it anymore ever.
And that is why clients are burning out, because there's so many coaches that they're like, I have my funnels now, and their funnels are terrible. The only place they're optimizing is if sales are slowing down. And then they're like, okay, where did the money go? But I think where it's sneakier is when they don't resign. That's not always clear why they're not resigning. And I don't think it's always even clear to the person that's not resigning. And I think a big part of that can be the experience in the client portal and technology experience.
Yeah. I've lost track of how many coaches we've talked to that have a really beautiful offering, like really impactful in the lives of potential clients. Mm-hmm. There's times when we're talking with them that I want to start doing stuff with them. And I'm kind of jealous if it doesn't fit me that somebody else gets to experience this.
Yeah.
And yet they're coming to us and saying, I can't find anybody that wants to work with me. And I can't figure out why. So we go and we start that process of digging a little bit. And they're saying, I'm exhausted because I can't get clients that'll stick around. And I had these ones, but now they're gone. And we've gone so far as to talk to some of the clients and diving into that process. Why was it that you didn't want to sign again? Why was it that you didn't want to continue with this? And in the business world, they call this attrition rates, right? Turnover rates. And I think maybe everybody hasn't, but I've heard many times, just like an employee, it's easier to keep a client than to find a new one. And so if your clients are dying off in finding a new one or in maintaining one, it's even harder to find the new ones. And 9 times out of 10, it is the exact thing that we're talking about right now. It is the user experience and how that is grating on everybody's nerves, everybody's emotional state, and everybody's exhaustion. And it's really kind of created a communication and connection disconnect in that place.
Yeah. Like there's so many case studies in my mind. An example could be, because I think this is happening and people are misattributing it to other stuff. But a really simple example of this is you get off a call with somebody and you're going to send them the replay. And it was on Zoom. You have to wait for it to upload. You have to go to Zoom. You have to get the replay. You have to remember to send it to them. Maybe you have another call after that and you're like, oh, I'll do it tonight. And then you have your list starting to pile up. That's mental baggage. And already just from a call that you're probably doing every week, maybe a couple times a week with ideally at least 5 or 6 clients, at a low number, that's just one tiny piece that's adding up. And then you have to go do it at night. And then you start to dread that. And then you start to dread client calls. And you're like, why do I not want to get on a call with this client? Oh, well, I think that it's probably a limiting belief or imposter syndrome, and you start thinking all these things. And it's like, no, you just don't want to go get the freaking Zoom link and send it again. Like that's just like one tiny example. And then the client on their side is like, man, that was really cool. I'm so excited. I want to go do something with this. Hey, can I get that transcript from the video? And you're like, yeah, I'll get it to you. I'll get it to you. And then their excitement is dying down and they don't have the tools that they need when they want them. And then a week goes by and they forget to go watch it when you finally upload it. They don't even realize you uploaded it because your notification didn't go through because you forgot to put it in the right port. You know, it's just like, and then if you want to fix that, that's a whole nother thing of figuring out why didn't it go through? Where did it fall off? And again, that's one client and that's something you're doing every week if you're a coach. So it's, and then you compound that, all the instances of that. And then you wonder why you're tired or why you don't feel creative anymore, or you don't want to launch a new program and you want a signature program that you can repeat, or you want to start running ads so that you can just forget about stuff. And you're trying to find ways to retire when you're actually like 29 and
right. Well,
not
I'm
at
exhausted.
a place that you want to retire.
Just listening to you talk about this, and we hear clients talk about this all the time, but listening to you share this, I'm literally physically feeling like a heaviness come over me just from the memories of some of these things for myself, and in talking to so many clients that are near tears in a lot of those places. They come, they're ready to call it quits. And some of the people we've worked with, it's kind of been a last ditch effort of, I can't keep going the way that I'm going. I love what I do. I love helping people. I love the message that I share, but I can't keep doing it this way.
And it's the simple stuff. It's not, oh, you decided to use a platform from 1980 that doesn't work. And it's the small stuff. It's sending a replay. It's the stuff that we're doing manually over and over and over. And it's that. And then the little things become really big and then they compound. And then if you don't stay on top of it, then you're underwater.
You know, when I started coaching, I had a few people that just had expressed some interest, and I wanted to do it the right way. And so I reached out to a few people, hired a few people, designed some logos, designed a website, got onto a platform and some of this stuff. I didn't even have a client, and I had an idea of what I wanted to do. And what I recognized is every software that I signed up for, the conversation was something like, this is one of the best softwares that's out there. It does this and this and this. This thing you're going to have to do for yourself. And this thing, you'll either have to buy another software to work with this one, or it's probably easier to just kind of like let that part go. And the other parts were really cool. And so it's really easy to just mentally dismiss that one.
Mm-hmm.
But what I realized is before I even had my first client, I had at least 20 things that I wanted to be experiencing, that I wanted to build, that I had compromised, and I had built a business around the limitations of these softwares. Mm-hmm. So when
pricing, tiers.
Yeah. So when you're talking about this, when you do have clients and you think like, oh, this is just like entropy over time. It can start this way. And that to me has been one of the most rewarding things about working with the majority of the coaches that we work with are pretty well established, but we have some that are new, that have a good plan, and they're able to avoid a lot of that. One, working with two people that have been coaches and experienced a lot of it, but also being able to custom build the thing to exactly what it is they want. They don't have that power draw from the start. Mm-hmm. And so that creates a whole different level of sustainability for them. That's been really exciting. And I think part of the reason I was feeling so exhausted is because I was like, I don't even have a client yet, and this already feels overwhelming. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really true for a lot of new coaches that have an idea of what they want to do and then start getting into the reality of an actual business. If the clients aren't resigning, if the coaches are kind of exhausted, what's the solution? I mean, we're talking about some of it, right? Being able to build this custom process, this custom app. What does that solve that we haven't talked about, I guess?
The technology itself is awesome and really powerful, but even just the process of creating it is going to massively shift. Like just a consultation call where we talk through it and pull out the reasons they might be exhausted. Like that's information, right? So even if they don't want to build something custom, they can realize where their time is being siphoned and where their clients are getting weighed down on a unconscious level. I was joking with somebody the other day, and she was like, can you explain to me, like, what is it that you do if you had to like get more playful with it? And I was like, I'm kind of a nervous system coach for your tech. So like, you are the nervous system coach. You're like, regulate yourself and show up, with like all of you fully present. And then your tech is like short circuiting, and it's like, like, stop putting so much on me. And I'm the person that comes in and I'm like, it's okay. And now your tech is like transcending with you. And then it really changes the whole experience of what your clients are experiencing and what you're experiencing, because there's just more space. It's lighter. Like when you're regulated, you're able to move, you're able to think clearly, you're able to pivot, and you're able to stay. And those are really important things in business, and especially in coaching when you're guiding somebody else through that process in life.
Absolutely. No, I love that. And I've experienced this, and it's been really rewarding to watch these coaches that will come in that after we build a system for them, it's a rebirth.
Yeah.
and they are, not only are they like able to execute on the thing they've been doing, they really start to get into that creative mode again.
Yeah.
And it's like their brain gives them permission to start feeling excitement and to start feeling some hope about their business. And all those things that they had said, well, I want to do that, but I can't, are coming back online.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really cool, because now not only is that coming back online, but they're like, do I need to rebuild something? Like, no, we've already built something that's designed for innovation.
Yeah.
That's designed for the next level. That's designed for the next program. So let's just plug it in. And they have the rebirth, and they have this revitalization,
Mm-hmm.
and they start to create something new every time.
Yep. Yeah. There's so much going through my head right now. The visual that I have is like, there's somebody that walks up to a counter every day and they stamp the thing, and it's like all dreary, and like they walk away and it's all dramatic, like in New York or something, old time New York. And then they like walk up the next day and they stamp it, walk away, walk up the next day. And then we have this pattern interrupt where they come in the next day and there's actually just like a plate of food, and they still put their paper down, and they're sitting there and there's no stamp. And then all of a sudden it's the rebirth. They look up and they're like, whoa, I don't have to do this today, which it's funny. That's not like a hard thing, but it just gets mundane. It gets monotonous. And then they're like, you know what? I'm just going to actually sit down for a second. And so they sit down and they're like, oh man, I'm tired from walking here every day. And they look over and they're like, there's a plate of food? Like, oh my gosh. And they grab it and it's this, and then they have the food and they're like, man, I have more energy now. Like, what do I want to do? And that's like what I was seeing as you were talking.
Yeah. I think that's a real world witnessing that we've had with some different people. So, for those of you that are watching this, if you're a coach, if you're a practitioner, a small business owner, or if you've worked with one and you've felt that exhaustion, you felt that burnout and desired that revitalization, it's not always in a new methodology. It's not always in another certification. As a matter of fact, most of the times it is in your own business that you exist in now, and getting that in a place, in a way that you can operate at the level that you used to operate at, the level that you remember, the glory days, as it were.
You're a kid again.
Yeah, you're a kid again, at least in the energetic level. So for those of you that are interested in that would like to talk about it further, you can find us at coachgrid.com or go find us on Instagram at coachgrid.